Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Creative Collective. Well forged creatively, and I finally got it right, Juan. My co-host today is Juan Padilla, my homie, my brother from the same father, and got to meet Juan finally recently. But we're gonna pivot today, guys. That's what we do. We're problem solvers, right? Our guest couldn't make it; he is tied up. And so we are going to do a live Q&A today, man. There's always plenty of things to talk about in the real estate world. So that's what we're going to do. Juan has extensive experience in wholesaling, as most of you know. And we both have a lot of experience in creative deals and subject to and PML and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, man. What do you guys think? Jeremy, welcome, man. Jeremy's in my 18-minute challenge group. He's one of the only ones left.
18-minute challenge. What's that all about? What's the 18-minute challenge?
It was the almost, we're on our third month, I think. We're almost to the end of it, but it's that challenge that Pace put in place almost about 3 months ago. Is a 90-day, 18-minute challenge, encouraging people to be consistent, right? 18 minutes a day, like, just something every day. And we're working on helping them get their first deals locked up. So,
Oh, wow. Awesome, man.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, man, it's been fun, and I started off with about 22 people or so. We're down to about 3 or 4 that show up. And I told everybody at the very beginning, we're only going to have 3 or 4 people at the end of this. The reality is you guys, most of you will not be here by the end of this thing. And sure enough, man. But that's just a numbers game, man. Like everything else, people just fall off. It's hard to stay consistent. It's not easy, you
Yeah.
know.
Just ask anybody about their New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's right. Yeah. It's funny. I don't do I do New Year's resolutions, but I don't do weight goals and anything like that. Like stuff that, I'll set goals. Actually, I don't do resolutions anymore. I set goals, around the first of the year,
That's good.
you know?
That's good.
Yeah. Cause you're right. The statistics show that 90%, I think 90% of people, after the first 30 days of it, I don't even think it's 30 days. It's like done.
Yeah.
The gym empties back out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's very
Yeah.
true. It's very
The
true.
New Year's resolutions is funny. So does anyone here have a deal? Ari, good to see you, brother. Um,
Ari's back in
Justin,
the house.
Ari, my boy, my New York buddy.
Hello, gentlemen.
Anyone? Hey, buddy, good to see you, man. Anybody have a deal that they want to dig into or having any struggles or any situations you want to talk about? Feel free to unmute yourself. Otherwise, Juan and I can go into some deals that we're working on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Always something in the mix. Jeremy, is that you? I can hear you.
All right, cool. So I got a quick one that was just came across today. Wife is co-workers moving over there next to you, and I
Cool.
guess the guy has a property out here that he wants to get rid of, and a rental property that he wants to get rid of as well. Something on the sides.
Can you repeat that last part? I know you're driving in your FedEx truck, so we're having a hard time hearing you.
Let me throw my Bluetooth.
Okay. Yeah, Jeremy drives FedEx by day, by night, real estate investor. Trying to get him his first deal, man.
That's awesome.
He's been working too. He's been working hard, bringing leads. That's what it takes.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I'd like to know if anybody in here hasn't gotten their first deal and is still looking for their first deal. Anybody here that's still type of one on the chat if you guys still have not gotten your first deal or are still looking for your first deal. All right, Michael. All right, sounds good, Michael. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, but I'd like to see if we can bring up Michael and kind of ask him about his experience so far, what he's been trying, and see if we can't help Michael lock down his first deal.
Yeah. Mike, actually, you don't mind if we bring Jeremy back up first? I think he has Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah,
he
Jeremy's
doesn't
on
he
there too.
doesn't have his deal yet either. All right, Michael, we'll bring you up right after that. Thanks, man. Jeremy, Yamino.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you, bro.
All right, hell yeah. So my wife's coworker, I guess he's gonna be moving out to Texas, and apparently to pay off the house that he's gonna be living in, he
Mhm.
has a house out here that he wants to sell, which is his rental. So I'm trying to get more
Nice.
information because she just dropped that on me right now. But with something like that, is that an obvious something that we could do to get it, whether we keep it as a rental or a long term, or is that something that we could wholesale?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we just need to find out what the pain point is. How much money does he need? You know, what does he need to get out of it? What does he owe on it?
Okay,
You know, what work does it need? You know, the same old stuff. Everything
the
that we
same
would
old.
normally ask. It applies the same way in
All
this
right,
deal.
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Just wanted to double the triple on that because I'm gonna try to meet him this Saturday and make sure that I get any and all details on it to see what we can get and hopefully make this a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juan, did you have something to add to
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I did. I definitely want what you want to focus on there to start your conversation is what we call the four pillars, right? You got motivation, you got what is their motivation, right? What are they, why are they selling, right? What's the reason for it? You kind of shared it with us a little bit right now, right? So
Yeah.
kind of dig up a little bit more information on that motivation. Then get into the time frame, right? So the next is your timeline. How soon do they want to move, right? What is their time frame? Like when do they absolutely have to be out by, or would they actually like to get out by, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the next one. Um, what I do is I focus on motivation, timeline, condition of the property, right? You want to find out what it's going to take to rehab that property, how much work it actually needs, get the scope of work when it comes to the actual condition of the property. And the last thing I would focus on would be the price, right?
Okay.
Now, those are your four columns. Out of those four columns, right, you should be able to get a picture, paint a good picture of this property, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
out of all of that information, you should be able to paint a good picture about how it is that you're going to structure this deal, right? And then what you would like to do with it, right? Start thinking already in the back of your mind what would be a good exit strategy for this type of
Mm.
property, right? Start
Think
thinking
Bob
about
Ross, right? No.
yeah. So yeah, I know, right? You want to start thinking about the you know what you're going to exit it with. You know, is this going to be a long-term rental for you? Is it going to be short-term rental, midterm? You know, is this a
Mhm.
co-living? I mean, there's so many different exit strategies, but I think a lot of
Yes.
people get overwhelmed with trying to get all of this done on the front end, and
Yeah.
I think you can get yourself confused with so much
Mhm.
information, right? So
Jeremy's
Yeah.
doing great too, man. We've been working with him quite a bit, so he's got like like with the first deal he sent me, it was the best. Like I would have thought he'd been a seasoned investor. He sent me this beautiful email. Everything was broke down. He had comps and he like it was so easy to read and so clean. I was like, dude, you haven't done any deals yet? He's like, so yeah, that's a great advice, by the way. Great advice. And so
Thank you.
yeah, 100%. Juan's the man. The pillars.
yeah, the
I
Does
pillars.
forget
it
about that.
do things change in the event that there's a that it's a VA loan? Because this guy is a veteran. So in the event that his house is under a VA loan, does anything change, or is it just pretty much the same thing?
No, I mean it doesn't,
No,
right? Because you
yeah,
can still sub to
it's better.
if you end up going a creative route, you know, you can still
Yeah,
sub to a VA loan, so that shouldn't change, you know, what
Okay.
exit strategy you decide to go with, right?
All
yep.
right. Cool. Cool.
No, it should be fine. And then
Yeah,
of
the
course,
bunny. We need the bunny. That's, I mean,
yeah,
obviously they're moving, right? But do they
Yeah.
need X amount of money? Do they think they need X amount of money? Do they really need that much money? You know, those are the things we want to figure out.
right, yeah,
All right. You got it. You got it.
Yep, that's what you really want to find out. And then, you know, like I told you before, and if you decide that you want to wholesale it, you know, no, that's also an exit strategy, right? And we can help you with that, right? As Lance was kind of mentioning, I do have a wholesaling operation. If you decide to go the
Yep.
wholesaling route, I can definitely help with that. Not only in being able to structure the contract correctly and appropriately, but also be able to help you dispo the property as well.
All
Yes.
right. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good looking out. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
man. My guy. Jeremy always shows up. Justin's pretty good too, man. Justin's pretty good. I'm gonna give Justin some credit too. In our group. I mean, Justin's in our group. All right. Man, great advice, Juan. I agree 100%. I love how crisp and clean that was. Really clear, really concise. Don't overthink it. Don't ask too many questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Exactly.
agree 100%.
All
I'm
right.
telling people that all the time. It's like, it is. I mean, people just puke up all over people. And it's like, whoa, man. Whoa, back up. Slow down.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick with
All
the
right, man.
basics.
Did you want to bring up Michael now?
Michael, my guy, Michael. You want to come on up here, bud?
Sure, absolutely. Just so you know, I'm at work now, so somebody might pop in. I'll have to mute you or something.
No problem.
No problem. So what do you got, Michael?
What's that?
What do you got? It looks like you haven't gotten your first deal, right?
Yeah, no. So in the beginning, like I started in June, right? With sub 2, but I was swamped at work, so I really didn't get that much going, other than taking in all the courses and stuff. And then I decided, in my infinite wisdom, to join Gator, right? So then I decided I'm going to focus on Gator, right? Which at this point right now, that's kind of like my main focus, is going to meetups and meet people in a networking and trying to drum up business for the Gator side. But I mean, all I have right now is the credit to use for Gator, which is, I mean, it's not little money. It's like 80 grand, but it's all in lines of credit,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, like, everybody wants private money. They all want private money lenders at the end of the day. That's what everybody's looking for. And I don't think I'm ready for that private money lender part, because they're all longer term, right? And I think I need more shorter term transactional lending than I can handle the longer term ones, like 6 months to a year time. You get what I'm saying? So
Sure. Yeah, a lot of the deals that we do are 6 months or less. So you just have to ask yourself, am I going to get? Maybe it's a $30,000 PML deal, to start off, right? Those are the lower end ones that we get.
right.
And you can get, 20% return on it in 6 months or less, say 4 to 6 months, but you like hold out. And this is the conversation I have with a lot of new Gators too, is I'm going to hold out. I want to do like 1 or 2 a month. That's great. What if you don't, though? What if you don't get 1 or 2 deals a month, right? Hey, that's
Right.
what usually happens is, I'm going to hold out, but then you don't find the EMD and the closing deals, and because they're very tricky to find. You're on the right track. Building those relationships, that's how you find getting relationships with people like Juan, who are wholesaling. Maybe they just don't want to put their own EMD down, right? Some of the bigger guys in the community. On the same token, a lot of those guys may not want to work with a new Gator because you're not seasoned and experienced. You don't know the paperwork. You don't know, how the process goes yet. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're going to start off. And then again, also on the same token, it's like rookie and rookie working together is also not a great idea.
Well, yeah, I don't want to do that either. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Meetups is a great idea. Just keep telling people what you're doing and what you're looking for, man. That's the best way to do it. I mean, I've done, to be honest with you, out of the 60 deals I did in the Gator community last year, 3 of those were EMD.
Yeah. Well, they're hard to come by, and then like
mhm.
I'm not scared. Like I have a W2 and I'm working these at, like, I work 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night, so I can't be on Facebook or whatever and and scour on that. And anytime I do check in on it, it's already scooped up at the end of the day, and so it's really tough for me in that regard. But yeah, I need. Another one of my problems is not being consistent enough. Like, I need to get up earlier and be more consistent on my part. Like, I'm not blaming other people. I have had deals that have come my way. They just weren't, like, they want them. Like, you'll hit me up today for, like, you need your money in 3 days.
No. Yeah.
And that's just not going to work. Like, I can't.
No.
I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? And so I get a lot of those type deals, but it's even if it is workable on my end, like I can't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to rush a deal just to have a deal either.
No, the best thing to do is to squat up with someone like myself or Juan, someone who's experienced, man, so we can make sure mitigate as much risk as possible. There's no such deal as a no risk deal, but we
Right.
can mitigate that risk and provide you with the underwriting, provide you with the vetting, and then you make your informed decision and do your own due diligence and go, this looks like a good deal, or this, no, this doesn't work for me. Either way, that's kind of what we do. So it's safer, right? It's not foolproof. People still ghost you. People don't perform all the time, but they do also perform. So I'm really working on getting into the relationships with people who are really seasoned and who I've been personally getting to know, because you just don't know at the end of the day what's going to happen, honestly.
Right.
So
And I would ask you, Michael, I mean, I heard, obviously I heard you say you joined Sub 2 first,
mhm.
and then you joined Gator. I don't know how long after Sub 2 did you join Gator. But what I would really focus on is how are you looking to get your first deal, right? Do you want to get your first deal on the Sub 2 side, meaning, either wholesaling, fix and flip, something to buy and hold? Is that the type of deal that you're looking for first, or are you looking more on the Gator side to get your first deal there? What I would do is have you kind of think through that, right? And put your focus on one or the other, and then put your effort all behind that one aspect, right? And then venture off to the other things. But let's like get you like so hyper focused on that one thing so you can get that one deal done. Because what I've seen a lot from, and it happens to all of us, right? You end up getting that shiny object syndrome, right? You end up, now you got, just like you said before, you got Sub 2, then all of a sudden you jumped into Gator. Was there really a thought behind that process, right? So I'll give you an example. I joined Sub 2 back in February of 22. I joined it for the specific purpose to help my wholesaling business go to that next level. Meaning, I'm not going to be a one-trick pony in wholesaling and just be a cash offer wholesaler, right? Now, guess wholesaling, cash offer wholesaling. I do creative deals wholesaling as well. I've done Sub 2, seller finance, hotels, novations, all of those things because I learned that from Sub 2. So I went into that already with the mindset and the idea that I'm going to get all of these things, I'm going to add them to my tool belt, and now it's going to make me a better wholesaler, right? Then when Gator came up, about a year and a half later, I decided to get into Gator because I wanted to get another income stream, right? I said, okay, this is great, right? If you guys are believers or not, but the Bible says that, we're to be lenders and not borrowers, right? So when I looked at Gator, I was like, wow, this is going to be an option for me to actually be a lender, right? And be able to be able to get our resources to work for us and have another income stream. And so that I went into the mindset with doing that. So that's what I'm just giving you that as an example. You don't have to do it my way. It's just examples of what I did when I got into these channels. And I just would like recommend or suggest that you kind of do the same and decide, okay, I really want to go down the Sub 2 route and be able to get my first deal this way so I can get, my first rental or whatever the case may be. Or if I'm going to go down the Gator route, it's because I want to get my first, my first Gator deal, right?
Right. So when you're wholesaling, what are you would you recommend going down foreclosure lists and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And go
So,
door knock?
right. So here's the other thing too, right? I think there's so many channels that you can use for lead generation in wholesaling that,
Right.
you can get lost there too, right? You can say, oh my gosh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then you end up finding that sometimes you're spinning your wheels. But here's the thing. Sometimes you actually have to go through that in order to find what you enjoy doing, right? And then what you're going to stick to is the next thing. Because I think a lot of times we might end up saying, okay, like let's say you decide I'm going to go door knock foreclosure list. You go door knocking right? And then like a week later, you're just like, man, this sucks. I hate this. Like, I don't like door knocking. And then some people just end up quitting there, right? Deciding, well, you know what, forget it. Like, this is too hard. Well, what about all the other lead generation channels? Did you even consider those? Did you even think of those before you decided to just call it quits, right? So that's, I've actually gone through that myself. I went door knocking, right? I went and did cold calling. I went and called FISBOs. I did a lot of these things, and then I came to a place where it's like, okay, well, I found what works for me and what I enjoy doing, right? For me, foreclosure list was one of the cool, fast lists to get a lot of leads at. But you also have to know how to pull those lists and know which list to pull when. So there's a timing aspect to foreclosure lists. It's not just going out and just pulling, just a random foreclosure list and then start going to door knocking on these lists. I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest that you actually find out exactly from a timing perspective, right? Try to get a situation where you're hitting up the most amount of foreclosures within a certain period or a certain area, right? You don't want to end up going from one side of town to the other side of town. That's not efficient, right? You have to get really efficient to going in a specific route, a specific area. So those are just some tips and tricks.
Right. No, so that's kind of like I got what you call USALegalNotice.com on right now on my computer and looking up properties. And I've been on my county website and I downloaded a couple, or I downloaded like a couple different counties around me, and then I've marked off a couple that look promising, and my next step is to go around and start door knocking. And then when I hit meetups and stuff, I'm really going to push. I'm going to push the Gator aspects, and then I'm going to try and do the door knocking as well to try to find something that I can actually wholesale or maybe even keep for myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely suggest that you get into that sub 2 vault, right? And get into some of the training sessions on door knocking, right? You're going to pick up a bunch of gems there. Now that you're deciding that's going to be the route you're going to take, then get yourself trained up, right? Get yourself as much knowledge as you can, so you can get some of these tips and tricks.
Yeah. Also
Absolutely.
reach out to any locals that you have there, and ask them if they're door knocking and squat up with them, man. A lot of people do that. They'll go out in groups and just split up into neighborhoods and go.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great point. You put it out there and say, hey guys, I'm going door knocking this weekend. Who's with me, right? And yeah, man, you can do that. You can squat up. That's the way I did it. Especially when I was learning, I didn't want to go out and door knock by myself, right? I wanted to learn from somebody that knew how to do it, and could show me the ropes.
Yep. 100%. Cool, brother. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man.
Yeah, it looks like Virel says that is that a 1.5 deal? What does that mean? What does 1.5 mean?
Under contract, maybe, or what? Yeah.
Where's Virel?
I think
here still?
I think they bailed. Bailed on us, bro. Saw that our guest speaker isn't here. No.
They're like, oh, no co-living.
Man, bro. Ouch. No. Speaking of though, we have our first 2 co-living properties under contract. One of them's the closing's been pushed off twice now. But
why is that?
Because the title company found a UCC lien, I believe, on the property that they're taking care of. The owner's taking care of it, or the seller rather, but it's getting cleaned up. But it was something that they just caught on there that nobody saw, last minute. So
well, that's good that they caught it.
Yeah, you're telling me. I know.
Right.
But yeah, so we're closing Tuesday though, so we gotta. We found the deal from a wholesaler, right? So I actually had a capital partner that we were working with from the we call it the Kyle fiasco now. He had a property in Lake Charles.
It's known as the Kyle fiasco.
Yeah.
The KF.
Dude. Yeah. So we call him the Kyle deal. It's a Kyle deal. So, anyways, I was trying to help this partner up with one of the capital partners in the property was in Lake Charles. It was great. It was like 3,200 square feet, tons of parking. Like there's a big gravel, it was like a half-acre property. So we were working on, partnering up with him, and we were going to turn it into a co-living space. And the neighbor, though, like, is this rich asshole who was trying to make him pay $50,000 to pave his driveway. It was like a shared easement, and like he's like, so we got into it already. There was a dispute prior to us taking it over, and he was just like, look. We talked to a local attorney, and they're like, look, I know this guy. He's got a lot of money, and he's an asshole. He will fight you. So we were like, okay, we just pulled out, unfortunately. But because I was posting about it, I was looking for another capital partner, like another private money lender to come in and fund the rehab work, right? And the furnishings. And so I threw it out there. I thought we were going forward with it. Because I did that, and here's a really good reason why you want to share your wins and share stuff on Facebook on the groups, because I shared that last month. I get a message on Messenger from another sub 2 student. Hey, Lance, are you still buying in Lake Charles? And I was like, well, that deal fell through. Why? What do you have? And I ended up picking up this property. Already has 6 bedrooms with locking keypad doors. This guy was an out-of-state investor renting to college students for $400 a month per room, dude.
Wow.
And so it was already set up, right? And we're getting bids to add 2 to 3 additional rooms, but bro, we can start renting those 6 out immediately, so.
Yeah, that's great.
So she reached out to me, 8% entry on this thing, subject to 2.75% interest rate. I was like, dude,
That's
so
nuts.
it was an amazing deal, and I jumped on it immediately. She's like, look, I haven't sent it to anyone else yet. And that's really a testament to the power of social media and networking,
Mhm.
So we got back to her immediately, and we got this deal locked up, man. And so I secured a PMP for it for 36 months. He's bringing in 70K. Another testament to branding, right? This guy's been following me for quite a while. Loves what we're doing, really. He's like, look, honestly, the deal looks great, but I want to get into a deal with you. That's what he told me, man.
Right.
How cool is that?
That is awesome. That is
It's freaking amazing, man. I'm like, dude, like, I barely really know this guy, but he knows me, right? He's been seeing
Right.
my stuff, right?
Yeah,
Videos and content and everything. So super cool, dude. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, that's happening Tuesday, man. We're gonna close on that. And guys, also another gold nugget here. We're putting acquisition fees into our deals, so we get paid on the front end. We're putting like anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 acquisition fees in there for us. What?
Make sure the deal is.
Oh yeah, my wife's like, "Whoa, make sure the deal's healthy." And yeah, obviously want to go way too crazy high, so whatever you can squeeze in there, right? Is what she was saying. But anyways, so yeah, that's happening, and then we have a deal in Indianapolis. That's actually, we're gonna probably do a pad split because they're operating out there. Just make it easier, right? We don't want to get too many properties that we have to manage, self-manage. You know what I mean? Taking it
Right.
one bite at a time. But yeah, super stoked. That property's awesome. It's like 4,200 square foot house, man.
Man, that's awesome. And how many bedrooms is that, you said?
This one's a 4-3, big house. Perfect
guys
too.
gonna
It's
be-
like,
Are you gonna be adding
yeah, oh yeah. I want to add. I want to have a total of 10 rooms in this house,
10
Wait.
rooms?
or 8. Yeah, 10 rooms in this house. Yeah,
Man,
yeah, dude. It's gonna be
Wow.
sick, right?
yeah, that's crazy.
Which one, Ari? Which one? Where's which one? I just told you where
The
each
one
one
in
was.
Indianapolis.
Lake Charles. Oh, I'm sorry. Lake Charles, Louisiana. The first one. The second one is in Indianapolis. My bad, bro. Lake Charles. You don't know where Lake Charles is, man? Come on.
Charles, Louisiana. Home of the great Grant Cardone.
That's right.
I have a question.
Yes.
May I ask? So Indy, because I was looking at something and in Indianapolis, I think you know the property too, for co-living. Because local guy here bought it as a wrap, and it's not going to work out. But
Mhm.
I was inquiring to get like, some feedback from somebody that knows co-living. I've been wanting to do
Yes.
co-living for a long time.
Yes.
So I reached out to the one guy that I think Effie had on, who's big in pad splits. I forget his name.
Yeah. Who was that?
And
Was
and
that
he
Javier? Javier?
not Javi. I heard him last week. He was great, by the way. Thank you very
Oh
much.
yeah. Yep.
Um,
No, it's not Sam. Sam's
no.
not doing pad split.
So
Was it Reed? It wasn't Reed, was it?
no,
Reed Clanahan?
Francisco, was it Francisco Fernando? He's from LA.
Oh, okay. No,
So-
I missed that one. But
So-
anyways, yeah.
I reached out to him and he said that they're not, pad splits is not in Indianapolis. Meanwhile, when I looked it up, there was like 4 properties that you could see there, but he says something about it not being like a prime market and
Like
to
the full
not-
service. Yeah, because you can do they offer like a partial service.
yes,
Is
and
that what you're
to
talking about? Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
I heard that they were in Indianapolis. We looked it up, but it only takes a handful of people, a couple handfuls of people to start getting them interested in the market. So, yeah, who was I talking to? Somebody was just telling me that Ralph Pombo actually was just talking to me. He was on one of the Zooms last week or the week before. He said that they offer the full service, and then they also offer where they'll partner with you and help you, but they won't do certain things. I can't remember, but they don't offer service everywhere from. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is. We need to actually reach out to them and talk to them because it would make sense to have them help manage it, right? And I don't know what it is. I can't speak on that yet, and I should be more educated on that already. But yeah, there are certain areas where they will still help operate, and I don't know what it is exactly they do. I think I don't know if they it's the placing the tenants and evicting tenants, like the most important part. I don't know if that's what it is. I think that's what it is because they don't have boots on the ground there. I'm pretty sure. So they'll help you, screening and do all that stuff, but they're not going to actually have someone on site if they need to kick people out. I think that's what it is, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, Ari, we should talk after this because that's the same person, and we're basically locked up on that deal. But
Yeah.
I'd be happy to talk to you about it after the Zoom. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just don't want to say their name.
Okay.
Cool, bro. Yeah.
But that somebody wanted like a 500. Again, I guess you could charge, but he wanted like 500 an hour consultation to speak to me
Whoa.
about,
Holy shit.
and saying that, I definitely learned from it, but I was just a little drawn back.
I have enough friends though, man. I'm friends with Reed. Reed Clanahan, my buddy. Last week, right? Javier. I could call him up. We have enough resources, man. We can get it figured out. Like, that's the thing. People always, well, how many do you have? And I'm like, well, this is my first one, but my mobile home park was my first one. My midterm rental, there's always going to be a first. I managed and owned a successful business for almost 20 years. I mean, you just figure it out. When you have the mentality that you don't accept failure, you figure shit out. That's just the bottom line. There's no failure, it's not an option for me. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right, brother.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Thanks, Ari. I appreciate that, man. Sorry I couldn't be more helpful. Oh, Julie hopped on. What's up, Julie? Or is that Steven? No. In disguise. No. Yeah, so those of you who just hopped on, any of you, our guest speaker couldn't make it tonight, so we're doing an impromptu Q&A. And we're hanging out. We're hanging out. Anyone else have any questions or any deals that they want to talk about? Anyone?
No, huh? No. Okay.
Nada.
All right.
Okay, well,
Well,
No
I mean,
brave souls tonight.
something I've been working on. So just so you
Yeah.
know, I've actually been partnering with other investors on, you know, dispoing their properties, right? So, um, just something to be aware of that you mentioned earlier today, and that is partnering, right? Partnering with those that have gone before you. Getting just comfortable with the people that you are, you know, trying to connect with or doing business with, I think is important and it's key.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I did when I first got started in the business myself, right? It's connect with those that have the more experience, squatting up. I mean, it's probably the best thing that it's probably the biggest game changer, I think, for you getting into action. Because here's the thing, when you're in a deal with somebody else, it kind of forces you to take action,
Mhm.
right? Because now it's like now you're not just sitting around you know, waiting for somebody else to do something for you. It's about you're both working together now to get to the common goal, and you have that other person kind of, you know, pulling you along, right? It's like, hey man, let's work together to get this to the closing table, right? And you learn from each other as you go along. But I think it's so important to just to squat up if
Yeah.
if you want to learn something. I mean, I think I saw somebody on here, I think it was probably Brandon. He posted on here he hasn't done his first creative deal. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. You haven't done your first creative deal, but what's awesome is that you're in the right you're in the right um community, right, to be able to get you to that first sub two creative deal.
The right room,
Lance
even.
schooled me before for joining Sub 2 and Gate at the same time, so I figured I'd focus on him.
Smart.
Take my time.
Yeah, so, you
Yes.
know, that's what's cool. I've actually talked to so many people in the community, and you know, some will wait, right? But then you have those just like yourself that it's like, man, I just jumped into, you know, both of them with both feet. Were you, when you did that, did you actively have a mindset of, okay, I'm doing this because I want to learn both things at once, or for what was the reason behind it?
Well, what I was thinking at the time was I ran into Pace taking his Bigger Pockets creative course. Then they had one of the leaders come in and step in and talk about community, and that's where I found massive value. And it's a lifetime thing. It's not a one and done or 6 month or that. That sold me. It was about 9 to 10 days later, I found Gator. And that resonated with me because I have a lending background prior to being in IT. I worked for Transamerica and Household Corporation, as well as Wells Fargo and First Interstate, and sold loans back in the early 90s and mid to late 90s as well. And did some junior underwriting for a wholesale mortgage broker, Conti Mortgage. There were some shady things going on in that industry at the time, as well as with that lender. So I got out and got into IT. But my thinking was Gator fit for me because of the background. It was quicker traction to the tread. It was a little bit more passionate for me. But I also want to get into creative because I want to be on the industry.
Right. So do you
Yep.
have an idea as to what you want to do in the creative side? Did you have, you know, co-living, short-term rentals? Like, do you have like, what would you like to,
Um, what
engineer?
my appetites on that side is multifamily, and what Lance first got into is the mobile home parks. They just entice me. It looks so much fun and so interesting. And I like underwriting, so trying to master that skill set as well as master some of the additional skill sets. I had to take a step back. Basically, after we did our deal back in November, my dad almost died. I had to step away for about 2 months. He has Parkinson's, and I didn't find him until 20 years later. So I had to take a step out and taking care of his renovation right now. He was ready for me
Mm,
right now. Basically, about a week and a half ago, I started getting back into the training and reattending your guys's because I had to drop off. I just had to go to.
right. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, multifamily. I mean, obviously, you know that there's a bunch of content, right, within the sub two, you know, training vaults. They go over multifamily as well. I think
Multi-fi Venus group.
Yeah.
yeah, so you got Venus Group that kind of has partnered with Pace, right? And she's got her community and that really focuses on multifamily. I don't know if you've actually signed up for the multifamily semester, right?
I-
Got that out there? Are
I tried to.
you aware of that?
Yeah, I did. I think I tried to, but I think I missed the sign up date because I missed the email. I did invest in the lower end sub two or the unaccredited, but I'm a accredited investor. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the capital time to get into it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm hoping for them to get into the semester next year.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you got the mobile home mogul right here, Lance. He can talk to you about, you know, that deal, right? The mobile home.
Oh
park.
yeah, I love it.
Well, and you know, I'm sure he can share some tips and tricks there as well on
Oh yeah.
what to look for. And
We actually have someone who's interested in buying mobile home parks that have been stabilized already. So we're like, maybe we dip out on this one and get into something a little better, you know? So that's the kind of stuff that happens though, man, when you network all the time with people and you talk about what you're doing, you know, people find you. He's branding on social media. You know, consistency is really the key, man. You take a hiatus, say, man, shit happens, life happens. It happens to us all. Just don't let that be an excuse to stop you. You know what I mean? Get back on the saddle and freaking let's go, man. The race continues, right? It's a marathon, actually, not a race, right? I love that quote. It's a marathon. But yeah, man, let me know if you need any help, dude. I'll be happy to help you. Juan can help you too. Like I love to help anybody get their first deal, man. It's really a lot of fun. And I always tell people this, like I am always willing to help people who are helping themselves. I'm not going to help you if you just find some random deals off Facebook and start spamming me with them. Like, no. I want to see people do some kind of underwriting, right? You got to know how to underwrite. Some kind of underwriting, some kind of vetting, whatever you can do, right? That's like you know, because we just get spam. I get spammed a ton. I'm sure Juan does too, with just random shitty deals that are not good. And I'm like, hey, man, where'd you find this deal? Oh, some guy posted it on Facebook. Cool. Did you vet it at all before you sent it to me? Oh no, man. I just thought you'd want to see it. And I'm just like, man, look, man, I'm busy, bro. Like I have a lot of stuff going on. I would love to help you, but you got to put some effort into it, right? You got to put some skin in the game, baby. You know? So
I want to master a few things, and you know that way I bring value to you for any time you give me. So I appreciate that.
yeah, bro. Anytime, man.
yeah,
Awesome.
One thing as a wholesaler that I get a lot, right? Is I get a lot of investors bringing deals that first and foremost they haven't locked up, they don't have it under contract. Secondly, most of these deals are online, and I just like those deals. I typically turn them down. Most of the time those deals that are online, if they're not going to be pitched creative, then a lot of times they're going to be a waste of time for a wholesaler. Especially like myself, I like to do novations, right? So it's like you basically took away my exit strategy when you presented me with the deal that's online, because the novation that I'm going to do is I'm going to put that sucker right back online. So on market, right? So, you know, a lot of times I just look at that and I just like, what am I going to do with this property? Like, you know, so most of the time for wholesalers, they you know, online stuff doesn't really work. Like I said, unless it's going to be creative and it's a really, really good deal creative. So
Yeah.
something to just be aware of.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys.
Appreciate it.
Also, hey, man, thanks a lot, bro. If you guys do not know how to underwrite a deal, you got to learn that right away. Like that's the first thing you really need to learn, in my opinion. If you don't have a partner that can do it or plug into someone, but underwriting is so crucial, man. And you don't have to learn how to do a deep underwriting. There are people who you can, you know, give a couple $100 to do that, but you have to know how to analyze a deal, right? And to analyze a deal, you really have to know how to do some underwriting, right? And so if you can't underwrite a deal and you're just like trying to bring deals, you like it's just waste everybody's time, you know? So learn to underwrite if you don't know how. There's a top tier underwriting course you can take, right? What's Bo's last name? Bo does the training. Oh, okay. I thought my wife knew. Honey, you're slacking over there. You're supposed to know everything. No. Be prepared for a shoe or something to fly at the side of my head
That's
here,
right.
guys.
Right. Someone's about to get knocked out.
She's a
Yeah,
good sport.
You're just gonna
I'm
see
still scared. No.
gonna see a shoe come flying.
Oh, viral pop back in.
Oh, really?
Viral, is that right? I'm assuming that's not a that is is that
Hello, everyone.
hello, how are you, sir? Do you have can you turn your camera on? Do you want to hop on and say hi? You had a question in here we wanted to talk to you about earlier.
Yeah,
The 1.5.
I'm driving.
That was it.
I'm driving. I got some bad connection here in Pennsylvania. I keep on
Okay.
following you guys for a while.
Nice.
Yes.
So what is the
I'm-
1.5? Explain that. What does that mean?
like everything with me, it's complicated. Not complicated. So I came here in America from Romania, from Eastern Europe in '91. I got married. So
Awesome.
we bought properties during the time, like 9, even more. For family, I'm talking. And we remodel, we rent them, we sold them after a while. And but my wife, she's still against for me to start doing it full time, you know. And
Hmm.
not that she's not a business kind of woman, she is, because I'm in the transportation, she's doing all the paperwork, all the money, all the taxes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But during the year, we done a lot of side jobs, starting from landscaping, going all the way to electricity and roofing and everything. And we got some, you know, like everybody, we got some bad experience with banks, with contractors, subcontractors, you know, with the
Mhm.
city. And she's like, no, I cannot deal with that. But you know, you have to respect everybody's opinion. But I
Sure.
have to do it. I joined the Gator like a year ago,
Okay.
but my hat is too much on you know, buying and remodeling, holding, selling, and with this how you call it? Not the pad slip. Pad slip. I like pad slip too, but I think they're too much in control of the, you know, the tenants and everything else. And last year, I find the gentleman here. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
I found a gentleman. He's doing the same business as Patsley for years. I'm talking like 12, 15 years in Cleveland.
Wow.
And yeah, I was trying to buy a duplex from here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And for some reason, somebody's not stole the deal, but you know, I was trying to do some art and writing and ask for some private money loans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And actually, I got like an open contract with the gentleman. We got like a period of inspection for like 14 business days. And
Uh-huh.
after that, if he finds something, he can sell it. And one of the guys from our group, he went behind me and he bought it. And he let
That's
yeah,
no good.
but that's okay. Like that's life, you know.
It is. You know who you're not doing a deal with ever. I was going to say
Yeah,
that earlier. Juan was talking about, you know, squatting up with people to get help. That's all another what
yes.
also happens is when you find somebody who doesn't put in the work and you go, "Oh man, this guy's all hype and no action," right? You'll find those people as well. You know, you hear stories. So,
Oh yes. And my reason would be I follow you guys for a while, but my my personality is kind of like, you know, closed inside. And last year, after JJ Azizian, I
mhm.
I know everybody knows JJ. He
Oh
pulled
yeah.
me out of him. Yeah, he keep on, you know, insisting to come up. And one time I was in North Carolina and he was in Atlanta and they got like a meetup. And he said, "You never went to a real estate meetup. Come on and join us." So I drove there. Man, that was amazing. I meet
Awesome.
with Yeah, I meet up with Alexis, with, oh man, such a nice
Abraham.
people over there.
Nice.
Yeah, the Abraham, but Abraham was the rock star. I just, you know, exchanged a couple of words with him. But he's
Uh-huh.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
he is, but everybody was jumping on him.
Oh yeah.
And he is nice. Yeah, but everybody was cool. And I meet some nice people. And now I have to take action. And my wife, she's keep on, you know, not bitching, but she's like teasing me all the time. Come on. no deal yet.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do it now. And Cleveland is a funny market. And because like I told you guys, I do side jobs from like 92, 94.
Yeah. Yeah, Cleveland's
And
a great market for cash flow. And there's a lot of good markets in Ohio for
yes,
cash
and
flow, man.
Dayton is better
Dayton.
than Akron.
I
Akron is better.
almost bought a quadplex in Dayton for like $100 grand. I was like, holy crap. $1,200 a
Yeah.
month in rent. So I was like, that is a great deal. It just didn't quite make it to the finish line, unfortunately. But
Yes, and for you
cool.
guys, if you guys are interested to invest in Ohio, is this company actually is like a one-man show. I'm gonna send you the info. He's a big investor in Cleveland, but he's all over Ohio,
I
and
think I
he's
know
dealing with a
him. Is his name
well, he's-
Michael? Michael?
no,
Oh.
no. He's not on our. He's independent. He owned a bunch of property. He's keep on selling and stuff. They got like a YouTube channel, like
Sure.
it's base. I'm gonna send you the information. He explained a lot of stuff about Ohio. He's get ready to find like a Midwestern original guys. He costs a lot. He's doing some funny videos. He's funny. I like him.
All
He's
right,
one of
brother.
those, like,
Hey, but hey, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna stop you there, and we only have a
okay,
handful of minutes left. I want to see if anyone else wants to hop on. Thank you so much.
okay. I'm gonna jump in again if it's possible. Thank you.
Sounds
Thank
good,
you,
buddy.
guys.
All right, guys. Anyone else have any other questions, guys? Let's see. My new friend Rebecca hopped on. Look at Rebecca's last name, everyone. Fat out. Throughout. It actually is not pronounced anything like that. I just talked to Rebecca on a Zoom last week, and I was like, how do I do this? What was it? Rebecca, can you tell us your last name real quick? I can't remember it already. I apologize. I wrote it down, though, the actual pronunciation on my notes. It is do what? Do what? Isn't that wild? TH-UOT pronounced do what? What? Get out of here. Isn't that wild? Anyways, we're having fun, guys, right? We like to have fun. Life's too short. You know what I mean? Ari knows, man. Life's too short, man. Let's have some fun. Yeah, guys, I got another deal I haven't heard back from the seller, but I got a guy locally who joined Sub2 a year ago. Life happened, right? And he hasn't done anything really, not part of the community, but he's like, hey man, my wife really wants to move back to Colorado, and it's like 25 minutes from my house, guys. And he's like, I know you're, in Sub2 and you're rocking and rolling, man. You want to take over this property, Subject2? And I was like, yeah, it's a 2020 build, dude. He's going to pay like $20K at the closing table. Even though there's equity in it, it's just going to sit. He knows what the market's doing for probably 6 months. The realtor he talked to tried to give him a price that was way higher than what he probably will get, and you know what happens when they do that, the house sits. So he's like, look, I already know, I see it happen. Are you interested in taking it over Subject2? And I can maybe get some equity. I was like, look, the numbers are really tight. We could only get you X amount up front, but we can make you payments, and then we could balloon you out in 3 to 5 years, with a regular payment. But you're not paying when you leave. You're going to walk away with 10, maybe 15K, right? And so he was all over it. And then my contractor out here at my flip, I told him about it. He's like, what? Let me see the house, man. And he's the Hispanic dude. He's super cool. He knows a lot of other Hispanics in our area, right? And he's like, I want to buy that house. I'm going to rent it to, I got lots of friends looking for rentals. There's not enough rentals. And I was like, no shit, dude. So how cool is that? Right. But, until pen hits paper, we don't know. But it's a cool opportunity, right? And I have a lot of other cool friends here who are plugged into the main demographic of Wraps is 75-80% Hispanics, right, Juan? And then 20, 30, whatever, business owners, all kinds of people. But I know personally, I've met a lot of Hispanics who have just cash. They don't do the banks and stuff. And This guy who brought my property here, 5 acres, paid $125,000 in cash. Wrote the dude or got a money order and paid the guy for this land. I was like, holy crap, dude. But anyways, that was kind of a cool deal that just kind of landed in my lap. This guy's like 25 minutes. I was like, you're kidding me, dude. He's like, yeah, I see you around, man. I know you're local. Like, but isn't that cool? Like, just I like talking about this stuff because it's because I'm there. I show up every day and I'm present. You know, so it's nothing special, guys. I tell people that all the time. They're like, "Oh man, you're killing it." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I just show up, bro. I show up, man, and I do the work. Like that's it. Nothing special here. You know, I mean, I am kind of funny, but no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I toot my own horn there. My wife is like, "Oh wow, that's great," you know. All right, guys. I think I've gone too far here. Anything else? Juan, did you want to say anything else before we wrap it up?
Oh man, I think that's it. I appreciate everybody's time.
Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, get out there and just take action. Reach out to me or Juan. You know, anybody in the group, anybody who's been doing deals, like more than happy to help you get your first deals. Even if you just need help, if you're stuck, you know what I mean? If you need someone to overlook your underwriting, you know, whatever, man. We're more than happy to help out. We are busy, so we might not be able to get back to you right away, but we will get back to you. So, thanks for joining tonight, guys. Juan, who do we have lined up for next week?
Yeah, we have a guest that hopefully will not will not disappoint, right? But it's gonna be Abby Golhar.
All right. What is Abby? What is her focus? Do you know?
I don't have the topic that we're talking about with.
All right. Well, we'll share it tomorrow. We'll get that out, that event created, guys. Yes, you too. All right. Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, reach in Viral. I hope I'm saying your name right. Reach out to me on Messenger, brother. And I'll respond and we can exchange contact. Maybe I can help you out, bro. All right, guys.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man. Everybody have a blessed night.
Thanks, everybody.